Hi, this is Nick from SC3000 Survivors, and I just wanted to show you how to get the EPROMs in and out of the sockets, because they can be a little bit stiff at first. Once you've done it a couple of times it's pretty easy, but the first time you might be a bit worried about bending the pins. So what I've got here is my finished multicart, and I'll just show you a couple of ways of getting this EPROM back out of the socket so we can stick it on the burner and re-burn it. So first thing you can try is, if you've got one of these, you can get them from most sort of electrical component supply places, hobby stores, that kind of thing. The IC tweezers, so you can see they're tweezers, but if you have a look on the end there, so you've got these little hooks just on the end here. The idea is they're just designed to just sit in nicely underneath the EPROM, just like that. See how it's just sitting under it? Then all I do is I just gently grab it down close to the base, put a little bit of pressure on, just gently wiggle it up and down a little bit, and pop, out she comes, nice and easy like that. Cool. So that's one technique you can do. If you don't have these, you can just use a screwdriver. You just got to be a little bit more careful with that. So we'll put our EPROM back in. Once again, we just check our notch at the top here, matches the notch at the top on the socket. Now, when you're putting these things back, when you're putting these in, or especially when you're putting them for the first time, you have to make sure that the pins line up with these holes here. Okay. What happens is when these EPROMs come straight out of their packaging, these pins are all usually kind of springing out sideways a bit. So usually what you do is first you eyeball it and just kind of line it up, see if all the pins just obviously sit on the holes nicely. If they're not, what you do is you get just hold the EPROM, just get the pins lined up nicely on a flat surface. I've just got a wall back here. All I'm doing is just gently pushing them all in, keeping them all straight, a little bit of pressure, and all I'm doing is just bending these pins in. And whoops, let's see if I can get it close up here. All I'm doing is just trying to keep these pins all nice in a straight line and just tilt them in slightly, just so they go and line up nicely with these socket holes. Now, this one's been in and out a few times, so it actually lines up pretty well. So what I'll do is I'll stick it on here, just have a quick visual inspection to make sure that everything's still lining up nicely in the holes. Everything's lining up on that side, everything's lining up on that side. Then I'm just gently going to kind of push down both fingers on top, boom, like that. Clicks in place, it's in there nice and solid. The other thing I'm doing, which I probably should have shown you at the start, is I'm wearing my little anti-static wristband. You can get these for, I don't know, a couple of dollars off eBay, something like that. All it is, it's an elastic band. It's just got a little metal pad there, it just sits up against your wrist. And then what you do is you go and clip it on. The other end of it's basically got a wire on it. The other end of it's got an alligator clip, and you just clip that onto some sort of grounded metal surface, like a window frame, or hopefully, just something with a good sized metal surface area anyway, so that's to stop you frying. Oh crap. And have a look at this. And that is why you make sure they line up. Look at that. I didn't get that one lined up, and I've just gone and bent this pin sideways. Well, it's the first time I've done that, so I'll have to put that out and fix it, and hopefully I haven't damaged it, but I think I should be able to pop that back in place. But that's why you've got to be very careful about making sure these pins line up. But yeah, generally it's pretty easy to do. Okay, I've straightened my bent pin back up, so I'll just pop it back in again. This time I'll be extra careful to make sure those pins line up properly. Lining up on that side, yeah, lining up well there, yep. Now I know they're lining up this time because they actually sitting in there quite nicely. I really didn't check that properly before because I was trying to dazzle you all with my brilliance. Let's clip that back in, there we go. Just check all those pins are nice and square on the side, yep. And they're all square nice on that side. Yeah, excellent. Okay, now I'll just show you the other technique I was going to show you. That's if you don't have the IC tweezers, you can just use a screwdriver. You just got to be a little bit more careful with this, because what happens is it comes up unevenly and you can start bending the pins. So if you have a look here, you see there's generally a little bit of space between the bottom of the IC and your socket. You can usually just get a screwdriver in there, just pop it under there, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to gently lever it up a bit on this end. I'm going to go back here, gently do the same, just push it in, just twist a little bit. As you can see, I'm just gently levering this thing up. Now the reason I'm just doing it gently like this is because if you don't get both ends about the same, what you get is half the pin's still stuck in there and half the pin's out. And then you've got to go and you risk, see, like here, as you can see, it's just coming off. Just got a couple more holding in, there we go, it's nice and loose. There we go. What you don't want is like pop all one side and have one side in all firm and then the other side all sticking out, because then you're going to got to lever it out and then you risk bending the pins again. So that's the other technique if you don't have IC tweezers, is just a screwdriver just underneath the edge, just give it a little twist, gently both ends and it pops out like that. Works pretty well.